My grandma immigrated to the U.S. in 1965. Though I originally thought her story was one solely of sacrifice, I realized that my grandma came to the U.S. not only for better opportunities, but also for love. This is my grandma's story, one of sacrifice, love, and family.
¿Cuál es su nombre?
Mi nombre.
Sí.
¿Lo quieres saber? Ay, mi madre.
Mi nombre es.
Gloria.
No diga, mi nombre es.
Mi nombre es. Bueno, mi nombre era Gloria María Martínez Catalino. El apellido de mi papá y de mi mamá. Gloria María Martínez Catalino.
Actually, let's go this way. Sí. Está bien.
I would describe my mother, your abuela, in one word as
Sonríe, mi mamá. I'm going to stand in my mother's place.
formidable. Formidable. You first see her as a soft-spoken older lady, but she's very strong-willed. She's very determined. She knows that through faith and through your ability to see what the future may look like, that's what guides your decisions and your steps. She raised 6 kids on her own after my father passed away for about 30 years. She raised us. She also lost my brother, who follows me through cancer. So the fact that my mother has had these blows to the family and to her heart, her faith has kept her strong, because she knows that even though the family members are no longer here, in addition to her father, my grandfather, and my grandmother, she knows that she's here and she has to remain strong for her children and for her grandchildren.
¿Cuántos años tiene?
Actualmente,
Sí.
83. Allá donde uno vivía, cuando uno nace, uno no sabe cuándo nació, ¿verdad que no? Y en la realidad, cuando uno nace está chiquito, y el único que sabe el nacimiento es su mamá y su papá, si lo quieren hacer. Ni todavía cuando yo vine, la gente no sabía en su cumpleaños. Y en ese tiempo, mira, tampoco los doctores, que ya no lo hacen ellos, sino los doctores. Pero en ese tiempo no eran los doctores, para que lo sepa, así es la vida, los cambios que hay.
¿Dónde nació y en qué parte nació?
Y si yo digo que nací en la capital, porque nací en Santo Domingo.
Creciendo en la República Dominicana, ¿cuáles son algunas de sus memorias más lindas?
Toda. El de Santo Domingo, y éramos felices.
When my grandma was younger, there was a rich man in her village who actively pursued her. Though recently divorced with 2 children, he was the talk of the town to everyone but my grandma, whose love story with my grandfather started the day he walked into her parents' deli for the first time.
Llegó ese joven que yo no lo conocía, porque no vivía ahí tu papá. En ese tiempo vivía ahí, pero yo antes de irme, yo a él no lo conocía, ni él vivía ahí tampoco. Y ahí se quedó también, en la bodega, y así se quedó. Eso fue el sábado, en la tarde. Y después el otro día regresó, y me saludó, y ahí toda la tarde regresaba ahí y hablaba conmigo.
De la muñequita, vente, toma. Ah, ya tú estabas
Con él yo le contestaba, gracias a Dios, y así fue la situación. Y se enamoró de mí, tu papá. Y Yo a él, antes de casarnos, le dije que tuviera cuidado con ese otro tipo que estaba enamorado de mí. Y entonces Emilio me contestó y me dijo, no tengas pena, porque perro que ladra no muerde.
My grandma came to the U.S. for love, to unite with my grandpa.
¿A qué edad usted empezó a pensar, ay, yo quiero venir a América?
Pues te
Sola.
voy a decir la verdad, nunca lo pensé ni nunca lo tuve en mi mente. Porque era feliz, mi mamá y mi papá eran personas de fe, tenían su pulpería, su bodega. Yo nunca quise venir para acá.
Y cuando vino acá, ¿por qué vino a América?
Precisamente porque tu papá, o el papá de todos ustedes, mis 6 hijos, estaba enamorado de mí.
The year before my grandfather passed away, he wrote my grandma a letter that read, Gloria.
Yo tengo que pasear un caballo a las 2 de la tarde, porque trabajaba para los caballos. Diego, quien te quiere. Y eso fue simplemente lo que me dejó y todavía lo tengo. Él era un hombre de fe, porque él nunca dejó de ir a la iglesia mía, con sus 6 hijos y con su esposa. Cuando yo vine a Estados Unidos, lo primero que hacía era ir a la iglesia todos los domingos y aceptar las bendiciones de nuestro Dios. No salía a divertirme, porque yo solo a la iglesia iba.
We would always pray as a family at 6 o'clock. So we would either gather in the kitchen, in the living room, or in the bedroom. And while my mother was praying with her eyes closed and telling us to close our eyes, my father would have a smirk on his face. He would tell one of us to pull his finger. He didn't do it all the time, but when he would have one of us pull his finger, he would let out a little bit of gas, and it was just a funny thing. My mother and my father brought me to the United States when I was 3 months old in 1970. My earliest memories was living in Queens, New York. I remember one of the first meals that we made when we moved into a really rundown house that needed a lot of work. It was 1 egg that was fried for 8 people. My 5 siblings, myself, and my mother and my father. And my mother had a gift, a talent, a knack of feeding all of us every day and never any of us going hungry. You know, it doesn't matter if you have money or if you don't have money, if you don't have love within the family. So the love was always there, the companionship was always there.
I'm wasting energy.
Sandra, yo sé.
Come on, Sandra.
I'm doing the dishes. One more.
Ooh, look at that big face.
Upon marrying my grandma in 1965, my grandfather worked at Belmont Racetrack, making $11,000 per year. It was not enough to support my grandma and their children, so he began buying clothing at wholesale prices in Manhattan, and he sold them at marked prices out of his trunk during slow hours at the racetrack.
All of the decision making that parents have to make, a lot of it is behind the scenes. The results are shown when you see the dinner on the table, the clothes on the back, but what it took to get the dinner on the table or the new clothes or the new shoes or to pay the rent, there was a lot of decision making. My mother has prepared me for success because, as they say, your parents are your first teachers. My mother taught me the value of making it work. I was in bilingual classes until the 4th grade. I learned enough English by the end of the 4th grade where I was then transferred over into a monolingual class. And from there on, the sky was the limit. Just growing up with my siblings with no financial money just made us want to get a job early on. By the age of 23, I had my teaching license and I started teaching at Thomas Edison CTE High School.
What traditions do you hope to pass down to me and why?
Always celebrate your birthdays with Isaac and Jonathan. I always want you guys to be there for each other, to support each other, to have a strong sibling relationship long after me and Papi are no longer here, because you will always be connected.
¿Quién es una mujer en tu vida que tú consideras un ejemplo a seguir para ti?
Mi madre, Sandra. Mi madre. Una mujer de una fe limpia y firme, sana. De una mujer con una fe completamente.
I may not know everything about my grandma, but I know who she is. I know how she expresses herself in moments of joy and aggravation. I know her values of family, but God above all else. I know she prefers to hawk comb her hair and doesn't like when I wear mine curly. I know she doesn't accept gifts and prefers to give them. The same way that I carry my parents with me everywhere I go and the values that they've instilled in me, I carry my grandma with every person that I talk to. I carry her with me in how I take pride in who I am. She truly is one of a kind, and the legacy she'll leave with me and my family is one that is irreplaceable. Nobody will ever amount to the woman that she is, except for my mom, of course. I love you, abuela.
Pastora, dígale un consejo a estos jóvenes, sus nietos.
A estos jóvenes que se pongan ready, fuertes en Cristo Jesús. Amén. Que domina el mundo. Y lo que nos tiene para nosotros es muy grande allá.
Pero un aplauso a Bartola, señores.